Ashton Tyson in with your Real Image News package for today, Friday 12th October 2018. In our lead stories, nationally, RSS assisting law enforcement here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and leaders of St. Kitts and Nevis and Barbados hold bilateral discussions. Regionally, powerful strain of marijuana discovered in Grenada. Internationally, South Korea's moon optimistic about end to Korean War. And in sports, Khawaja's century helps Australia to draw test with Pakistan. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse.
Wrong.
Welcome back, now the national news in detail. Some 35 soldiers and police officers from the Regional Security System, RSS, were sworn in Thursday as special constables of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. The officers are in the Federation on the request of Team Unity-led federal government as the country continues to experience heightened criminal activity with gun violence a major worry for law enforcement. Premier of Nevis, General Mark Brantley, is giving his full support to that move.
I agree wholeheartedly, and my sense is that we ought to continue to engage, not only with the RSS, but with whoever else we can get to engage with. Bring in the experts, bring in the assistance as necessary, work with the local police, give them the resources, allow them to beef up their ranks, and let us try and deal with this problem. But crime is a social problem, I've always said that. And to beat that problem, you require a social response. And it will require all of us, all hands on deck.
Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Following a 6-week training program here in St. Kitts and Nevis in December 2016, a number of RSS personnel stayed on to assist in keeping law and order in the Federation. Reducing debt owed to the University of the West Indies, UWI, and economic threats from the blacklisting of small island developing states, SIDS. These were some of the areas discussed on October 10th during a meeting between Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, and Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Mottley. Dr. Harris described plans to ensure regional governments settle the outstanding payments to UWI and effectively bring the institution's arrears down to satisfactory levels. On the issue of blacklisting, Dr. Harris reiterated his position that the unfair and discriminatory blacklisting of developing countries poses significant challenges to the economies of those countries. Following the bilateral meeting, Prime Ministers Harris and Mottley attended the opening ceremony for the 15th Caribbean Week of Agriculture being held at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center under the theme, Strengthening Agriculture for a Healthier Future in the Region. The Caribbean Week of Agriculture provides a forum for ministers of agriculture, planners, regional organizations, and other key agricultural stakeholders in the public and private sectors to meet to discuss major issues affecting the agricultural sector in the region. The residents of Bath Village will see work commencing to ensure smoother transition in and out of the village. The Public Works Department is set to commence upgrade works along the Bath Village Main Road beginning from Monday 15th October 2018. According to the Director of the Public Works Department, Raoul Pemberton, this upgrade is the first stage of the road project and will see work being done from the intersection of Reliable Motors to Black Hats Place.
The reason for doing that section of the road is just to widen it because it's pretty unsafe, and I'm sure most of the persons who use that area would realize that two vehicles could barely pass that area in the region of Blackheath residents. So our intention is to not just to improve the surface, but to widen the road. What we want to do is do some upgrades to the existing drainage on the left-hand side heading over to Bath. So we're going to improve that and allow the water to flow without hindrance. We're also going to widen the road just from that same intersection in Reliable Motors going across the gauges. Certain areas of the road already have the required width, and those that doesn't, we're definitely going to try and widen it to make it more comfortable for the motorists.
The director also explained that the flow of traffic into and out of Bath will be directed to ensure a smooth project and to allow the public's safety.
The main road would be blocked from Reliable Motors from time to time. Because of the work that will be going on there, heavy equipment, backhoes, trucks, there would be occasions that the motorists would not be able to use that route going into Bath. So they would have to take the longer route up to the cemetery and around to Bath. So we just want to minimize the interruptions to the general public. For the pedestrians, they would have to take the route through the Hot Spring area. Those who want to probably go to the Bath Hotel, then they can. Those who don't want to take that route, they can go to the Hot Spring area. But we would have signs along the route indicating where persons can go, just to make it easier for them.
Director of the Public Works Department, Raoul Pemberton. Work will be conducted Mondays to Fridays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and is expected to be completed in 2 months. In more national news.
During this month, many persons are celebrating special occasions such as the month of the elderly, the blind awareness. So we invited Miss Jennifer Freeman to talk to the children. Earlier in the week, they learned about persons with disability. So we were thinking that's a very good idea to get children exposed to persons who are a bit different to them and appreciate them versus laughing at them. So that's why we had a coming to get a first-hand experience of someone.
President of the Nevis Blind, Light and Visually Impaired Society, Miss Jennifer Freeman. Miss Freeman was speaking to students at the Maud Smith Preschool in Bath Village on Friday morning. Principal of the school, Mrs. Joseph Meyer, spoke to the VON Newsline about today's activity.
Even though I am blind, as I said to you, you don't let it get you down. Everybody will not be the same because there's some persons, and you have to give people time to brood if they want to brood, but not let them go to the extreme. And so here's where you have to try your best, that even though I can't see, you should save your sight. You understand? Make sure your eyes are clean, no dirty hands to faces.
The school will celebrate its 25th anniversary on October 28, 2018. An edible academic concept during which school children learn about edible crops and plants is being embraced as an educational possibility by the Premier of Nevis and Minister of Education, the Honorable Mark Brantley. During a recent visit to New York, Nevis resident James Gaskell invited the Honorable Brantley to visit the Edible Academy at the New York Botanical Garden, NYBG. The New York Botanical Garden describes the Edible Academy as a state-of-the-art educational facility which features hands-on activities and innovative programs that help children, families, teachers, and the general public to learn about growing and preparing vegetables, fruits, and herbs, while encouraging a long life interest in gardening, nutrition awareness, and environmental stewardship. Brantley thanked Gaskell for his continued interest in promoting healthy foods for the island's children and showing him the Edible Academy. The goal of the garden-based educational program is to engender understanding at a young age of where food comes from and making the important connections about plants, science, and benefits of a healthy lifestyle. Also, as a result, the Academy offers life-changing opportunities for children, families, and teachers. 6 Nevisians have successfully completed their courses of study at the University of the West Indies Open Campus, Nevis site. They are Miss Chanel Dorr, Master of Science in Management Studies, Miss Lisa Lee, Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood and Family Studies, Mr. Donnie Joseph, Certificate in Tourism and Hospitality Management, Mrs. Tamisir Lestrade, Bachelor of Science in Management, Miss Tamu Reed, Master of Science in Management and Educational Leadership, and Mr. Orvis Tyson, Associates in Paralegal Studies. The graduation ceremony for the UWI Open Campus takes place this year in St. Lucia on Saturday, October 13th at the Royalton St. Lucia Resort and Spa. There are presently over 40 students enrolled at the Nevis site in a range of online degree programs, including the fields of management, accounting, social work, youth development, psychology, and education. 80 children will this year benefit from the annual Constituency Number 7 Help a Child program. The program, which is the brainchild of Prime Minister and Area Representative Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris, started in 2004 with 24 children, 6 from each of the primary schools in the constituency, namely Edgar T. Morris in Tabernacle, Estridge in Mansion, Joshua Obadiah Williams in Molyneux, and Violet Petty in Lodge. According to coordinator of the program, Miss Myrtilla Williams, it is an educational assistance-based program the Prime Minister began, as he firmly believes that the future of a nation depends on its youths and should be given every opportunity to develop at their best. The ceremony will be held under the patronage of the Prime Minister on Wednesday, October 17th at 5 p.m. at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church in Borreux. This year, the program will cater for 80 children attending the 4 primary schools, along with the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School in Bastia, and a few children who live in Constituency Number 7, but attend primary schools elsewhere. Although the program will disburse a record 40,000 EC dollars, the most the program has ever disbursed so far. Last year, the program sponsored 68 children and distributed $34,000. Police are soliciting the public's assistance in locating a teenage girl. Missing is 15-year-old Tanisha Keynes of Sadler's Village, St. Kitts. According to reports, she was last seen at home last Thursday, October 4th at 8 p.m. She is described as being 5'3" in height, weighs 120 pounds, fair-skinned, and usually has her natural hair pulled back in a ponytail. This is the second time Tanisha has been reported missing in less than 10 months. Earlier this year, police issued a runaway teen bulletin on January 4th, 2018, after it was reported that she was last seen at her home in Sadler's Village on December 27, 2017 at about 7 p.m. A report issued by police on January 7, 2018, 3 days after the bulletin, indicates that she was found in Connery, St. Kitts, just before midday on January 6, 2018, and was taken to the JNF Hospital for medical assistance. Anyone who has information regarding her whereabouts are asked to call the Special Victims Unit at 465-2241 extension 4232 or the nearest police station. And finally, as part of the month of activities for older persons, a group of older ladies enjoyed a day of pampering with a wide array of spa services from second-year students in cosmetology studies at the Advanced Vocational Education Center, AVIC. Every Thursday during the month of October is designated as Older Persons Spa Days, which was initiated in 2017 as a means of giving back to the older people and allowing the students to have hands-on training. Since the Older Persons Spa Days inception last year, the school has accommodated over 60 seniors to various spa treatments. Some of the services offered to the older persons include manicures, pedicures, facials, shampoo services, braiding, extensions, and perms. The month of older persons is celebrated annually in October here in St. Kitts and Nevis. That's our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com, or you can check us out on our social media page on Facebook at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
Something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are, a place where you can be yourselves, a place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. Police in Grenada have confirmed that Creeper or Creepy, a powerful strain of marijuana grown from plants native to Europe and the United States, was recently discovered on the island, and 2 persons have been held in connection with the find. According to police reports, Ken Stanislaus and a 39-year-old mason and Angela Pierre, a 32-year-old cook, have been jointly charged with possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis, trafficking in a controlled drug, illegal possession of firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. It's reported that they were held on Wednesday following the search of a house they occupied. During the operation, the police found the cocaine and the creepy marijuana along with a gun and ammunition. When compared to other marijuana plants, this particular strain has up to 20% higher levels of THC, the active psychoactive ingredient in the plant. Out of St. Lucia. The Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, is investing $20 million in education and youth development in St. Lucia. The bank recently launched the St. Lucia Education Quality Improvement Project, EQUIP, and the Youth Empowerment Project, YEP, at the Bay Gardens Hotel. EQUIP aims to strengthen the island's education system through the expansion and rehabilitation of 4 selected institutions and overall improvements in educational leadership and instructional effectiveness, including training of teachers, principals, and education officers. EQUIP will place emphasis on enhancing the support provided for children with special educational needs by assessing the institutional and infrastructural improvements needed to provide quality education and equitable access to that vulnerable group. The other intervention, YEP, aims to support at-risk youth and their families by expanding access to social services and developing new targeted programs. Out of Trinidad. Chartered surveyor Afra Raymond has won the right to have certain documents, which so far have been kept secret, involving Trinidad and Tobago government's deal with Sandals Resorts International to construct a 500 to 750 room hotel in Tobago. On Thursday, Justice Frank Spears-Prasad ruled in favor of Raymond in the San Fernando High Court in Trinidad and also granted him leave to seek judicial review of government's decision to withhold details about the construction of a hotel for Sandals, Golden Grove, Tobago, Newsday reported. In March, Raymond had sought disclosure under the Freedom of the Information Act in letters to the Prime Minister's Office of the relevant Memorandum of Understanding MOU but got no reply. In a lawsuit for judicial review of government's inaction in furnishing him with the MOU, Raymond contended that the resort will be constructed on prime state lands in Tobago, the cost of which the state will bear for Sandals. Further, Raymond submitted in an affidavit its construction will have an impact on the use of water, electricity, solid waste, and further infrastructural development of the airport in Tobago. The consultant, valuer, and surveyor contended that, as a result, the relevant stakeholders ought to have been consulted. That's it for regional stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. International news in detail. South Korean President Moon Jae-in has told the BBC that it is only a matter of time before the US and North Korea declares an end to the state of war of the Korean Peninsula. The war ended in 1953 with an armistice, but a peace treaty was never signed. Mr. Moon, the son of North Korean refugees, also said there could be more diplomatic bumps and bruises as he tries to persuade Kim Jong-un to give up his nuclear weapons. Laura Baker reports.
The key man in the middle here to try to mediate between the US and North Korea has been President Moon Jae-in. And he has had 3 summits with Kim Jong-un this year. And he says that Kim Jong-un is committed to complete denuclearization and that he understands that that means dismantling his current nuclear arsenal. But President Moon admitted that he hadn't talked about how that process would work in detail or look at a timetable, but he hoped that would be looked at the next United States-North Korean summit, which could be quite soon.
A court in Turkey has freed a U.S. pastor from house arrest in a case that badly strained ties between the U.S. and Turkey. Andrew Brunson was arrested over alleged links to political groups, including the banned Gulenist movement, following the failed 2016 coup attempt. The court convicted him of terror charges and sentenced him to jail, but he will not serve time. Mark Lowen reports.
This is a case that has led US-Turkey relations to plummet. Donald Trump lost patience with the fact that he was still in detention here over the summer, 2 years after he was initially locked up. That led to sanctions on 2 Turkish ministers, and the White House announcing trade tariffs on Turkish steel and aluminium would be doubled. Ankara reciprocated, US-Turkey relations plummeted, and with it, the Turkish lira that's lost 40% of its value against the dollar this year.
A key figure during South Africa's transition from the apartheid era, Pik Botha, has died at the age of 86. Mr. Botha served his country's foreign minister for 17 years until the end of the apartheid era in 1994. He spent most of his career defending the apartheid system, even though he was regarded as a liberal figure. Speaking to the BBC, Mr. Botha said he started to question apartheid early in his career.
My first posting was in Sweden, where the newspapers were vehemently against South Africa and published all the distortions, but even 50% of what they published were true. Then that challenged my whole view on the morality of what we were doing. In 1974, I stated in the United Nations Security Council that I could not defend discrimination based on the color of a person's skin.
And finally, a landslide following heavy rains in eastern Uganda has killed more than 30 people. It is feared that the death toll could rise as a government rescue team reaches the Mount Elgon area. A river burst its bank and a torrent of mud and water swept villages away. Pictures from the scene show people retrieving bodies from the mud and carrying them away. A landslide in the same region, Bududa, killed more than 300 people in 2010. That's it for our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Hello? John, did you remember that pink is in at TDC Home and Building Depots?
It's that time again?
It sure is. This October, they have up to 75% off in their pink ribbon clearance sale. And don't forget, every October, TDC Home and Building Depots have free breast screenings every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And you can also support their Cook for the Cure barbecue events while you're there, you know. Plus, they have Pinktober specials all month long, so we can shop early and save.
So this October, think pink, think TDC Home and Building Depots?
That's right. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back to another Sports in Detail. In cricket, Usman Khawaja's marathon century helped Australia salvage a draw in the first test against Pakistan in Dubai. Khawaja, who spent almost 9 hours at the crease for his 141 after scoring 85 in the first innings, helped the Aussies survive 140 overs as they chased an improbable 462 to win. Australia had reached 362 for 8 when the sides shook hands at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Yasir Shah was the pick of Pakistan's bowlers, finishing with 4 for 114. Meanwhile, Pakistan opener Imam Ul Haq has been ruled out of the second and final test after breaking his finger while fielding during Australia's second innings on Thursday. The second test takes place from October 16th to 20th in Abu Dhabi. Summarized scores: Pakistan 482 and 181 for 6 declared. Australia 202 and 362 for 8. Khawaja 141, Sheng 4 for 114. And finally, in football, Usain Bolt has scored his first goals for a professional football team, getting 2 on his maiden start for Central Coast Mariners in a friendly. The Jamaican 8-time Olympic sprint champion scored the Mariners' third and fourth goals in a 4-0 win over MacArthur Southwest and celebrated with his trademark lightning bolt pose. Bolt joined the A-League club in August for an indefinite training period. For his opening goal, Bolt ran onto a chipped ball played by Scotland striker Ross McCormack, held off the defender and finished powerfully low past the goalkeeper. He capitalized on a defensive mix-up for his second, with a MacArthur defender and goalkeeper colliding to leave Bolt able to tap in from close range. The 100-meter and 200-meter world record holder has previously trained with Borussia Dortmund, South African club Sundowns, and Norway's Stroms Godse. That's it for sports. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back. And now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts Nevis. Tonight would be mostly cloudy with an 80% or very high chance of showers and thunderstorms. Winds are east to southeast at less than 19 kilometers per hour or less than 10 knots. There will be long swells at sea with significant wave heights of 1.5 to 2 meters or 5 to 7 feet. A high surf advisory remains in effect mainly for north and east facing beaches. Sunrise tomorrow would be at 6:03 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Friday, 12th October 2018. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, RSS assisting law enforcement here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and leaders of St. Kitts, Nevis and Barbados hold bilateral discussions. Regionally, powerful strain of marijuana discovered in Grenada. Internationally, South Korea's moon optimistic about end to Korean War. And in sports, Khawaja's century helps Australia to draw test with Pakistan. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashon Tyson, wishing you a great weekend.